Guys, this week, self-care continues. But we look at self-care in one particular area that I think, although we might look at our health or I need to look at the doctor and things like that, one of the things we don't focus much on is guarding our mental state and our mind and what we allow to enter our spirit on a daily basis. Also, guys, I had a bit of a testing week. And I'm going to share with you how I was tested. And most of all, how my Father came through for me. So, let's go. Hello, my name is Paula Simon, a believer who 25 plus years ago made a decision that changed my life, strengthened my faith, which led to a closer walk with God. On this channel, I encourage women to be more proactive in their life and embrace changes one step at a time. And if you are new to this channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber or visitor, welcome also. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification button so YouTube will notify you when a new video is uploaded. As I said earlier, we will be looking at self-care, but from a mental point of view. And I also will share towards the end a little test that I went through in the previous week. But guys, we know for a fact, unless you're under a rock in Timbuktu, we know for the last 18 to 20 months, it has been very, very stressful. And not only where you are in your individual city or town, or state or country, is the entire world was touched by COVID-19. And because of that, especially in the early stages, we were bombarded with a whole lot of information. Some of it could have been good, some of it could have been bad, some of it could have been destructive. But then for us, who has never, and in fact, I don't think they had anyone on the earth. Okay, I think they said one woman was still alive from the last big pandemic that we had in 1917. It was new to all of us. And even persons who've been studying these different viruses and had been predicting that at one time we were going to get something like this and we should be prepared for. I'm certain, although with all the knowledge, no one could ever be fully prepared for the madness that ensued afterwards. And with that, as usual, there was information. And we had a choice of what to listen to and what not to listen to, and how much we're going to make those information affect our daily lives. They had some that was, to me, was understood, like washing your hands, not gathering in public places, wearing a mask, because it was something that was happening. And although they have an idea it's a virus, how to stop the virus from spreading, there wasn't a vaccine. All of that wasn't in place. So in preparation or until we able to handle the virus, we had to do some precautions. We know school closed, everybody started working remotely. You couldn't visit your mother, your grandfather, your dog, your cat. People were dying alone. So in the midst of all of that, we were bombarded and everyone became an expert. Every video and every article popping up and everyone telling you this had predictions that it happened. Someone predicted this, and all the spiritual healers or the know-alls was out there saying these things. For myself, I look at it as this. That is something out there I have no control of. Most of all, it's invisible, and it could attack me, and then it taken me 3-4 days to realize that it did attack me. So I listened to the experts. I listened to the doctors who gave you the basic. Wear a mask. You cannot be going out in public places. You have to avoid crowds, wash your hands, social distancing. All of that I did, and I believe. Everything else that come with, I ignore. They might have had some basic, not basic, they might have had some advice like using like lemon or ginger or lemongrass that will help with the virus. And those things I believe, and I did, because if you're a Guyanese of a certain age, we never went to the doctor so often. You went to the doctor when you're pregnant and you went to the doctor when you're about to fall down. Other than that, everything else was, the remedy for it was food. There was always something in the cabinet that you're rubbing up with. Or you're sick, oh, you must drink this, it's going to ease up upset stomach. Or you drink some Edo soup if you're feeling a bit weak, it can build your blood. So that is the background I came from. So when I hear things like lemongrass or ginger or using turmeric, I went back to that and I was comfortable with. Everything else I ignore. And let me tell you guys this. Let me give an admission now. All those who send me videos, especially the videos without any like introduction, well, Paula, I send you this video because this guy was talking about this root and it makes sense, and you just decide to send me those blank videos. I deleted every one of them. And I'm going to tell you right now, for in the future, if you have anything that you would like me to really take note of, do not just send me a video and an article without an introduction. Because especially on my phone, I'm not clicking and downloading no video to my phone that I don't know what it is. And it might be something that you believe in and you might be right. But I don't know if it's something that I want to have in my spirit, and most of all, it's something that I want to take up storage on my phone. So I just delete those videos. And I'm telling everyone, if you want me to really look at something, send me something with an introduction. All right, let's go back to mental health. So because of that, I didn't listen. I didn't care about all the predictions, who predict what. Because I know at the end of the day, along with what the doctor is saying, I have connection with the Supreme Being. I have connection with my Father. And I know He's going to take care of me. And when He's ready for me to hear anything, He's going to let me know. In fact, He's going to put it in my spirit. And why I'm thinking like that is because of previous experiences. Because of the close relationship we have. He knows how to get to me. And He knows very well, person sending me 4 million videos, it's not going to work. So I never listened. Was I stressed at times with the situation? Yes, because at times for a moment it hit you. As a human being, only God could be that relaxed all the time. When would this thing end? It looked like there was no end in sight, especially when you see the people around you is not adhering to it. I will go to Kroger here in Atlanta, and you will see people without the mask, and they have the gun on the side of them, and you know from the look on their face, they're daring you to say something about the mask. You know what I do? There was never so much needed in that store. The minute I see one of those individuals behaving like that, I get out of the store, back in the car, and I get home. So at times it had me thinking, when would this end? Because it seems like people were not taking it serious, and everybody claiming it's a hoax and all of these sort of stuff. But I guard my mental state by not bringing in any information. And the minute I start talking with anyone who's saying they don't believe in it, it's a hoax, well, I get out of the conversation. Usually am I getting trying to clarify information? Nope. I know I cannot fight against the kind of belief. So what I do, I get out of the conversation and I avoid speaking to that person unless it's absolutely necessary. And I make sure I steer the conversation away from the COVID. Because it was there. And what happened is that persons allow themselves to listen to all this information. As I'm saying, some of them might be right. I don't know. I just avoid all, because in the midst of the right ones, you're going to get the other ones that is not right. And guys, it gets into your spirit and it creates doubt. You ever went somewhere and you hear a song, just for like 2 minutes, or who knows, 1 minute or 30 seconds, and then you find an hour afterwards you start singing that song, and you might be laughing. Imagine, I just hear the song and suddenly you wake up next morning and it's that playing in your head. Why? It got into your spirit. You did not even realize that. So I avoid all things that I know is not beneficial to me. It's not no way helping with the situation. It's me deciding to be, I don't know, a specialist in viruses to know what is hoax and what is not hoax. I see people dropping. I see people dying. So as far as I'm concerned, it can be a hoax all over the world. It might be a hoax in Georgia or a hoax in America, but it can be in Canada, India, Russia, all over the world. At the bit named the palace, right down to the people in the nursing home, everyone was touched. But that is what I talk about, self-care of our mental state. Even in the midst of something that is going crazy, you have to decide how much I'm going to allow into my spirit that is going to distort my judgment and distort my response and the actions that I take. One of the things that very early that threw me off, I was speaking with someone very educated, a respectable job, someone that I always look at as being level-headed and very rational and all of that. When the person is going to say to me, Paul, one of the things about this virus I cannot understand, how they know more people is going to die. I said, what? I said, let's look at it this way. I asked the person, I said, if you hear your pipe dripping, this water dripping all the time, when you look, you go downstairs, it might be in your basement. You see the water dripping in a container. I said, let me ask you, what is the chances of you not getting the plumber to fix the faucet that is leaking, plus you're not putting a bigger container under this leaking faucet, or you're not emptying the current container? I said, what is the chances of that water flowing over out of the container and wetting your entire basement floor? The person was quite on the other end of the phone. I said, well, okay, look at it this way. The leaking faucet is the virus. The accumulation of the water is people getting sick. I said, the overflow is people dying. I said, you know what? The plumber is the vaccine. You finding the plumber is what the people in the lab now working on finding the vaccine. And until the plumber or the vaccine isn't found, chances are the water will be leaking. That is people getting more sick. They're getting sick, it overflowing, and then they're dying. The person was quite at the other end of the phone. Oh, I didn't look at it that way. And when I came off the phone, I said to myself, it's because you sat down there, not having to go to work, but listening to all these other experts who claiming it's a hoax. That's why, because of that, this reasonable, rational thinking person just went off the rail and make that statement to me. I don't know if as the words start coming out of their mouth, it didn't register to the head that this is nonsense. How they know that more people is going to die? Because there wasn't a vaccine, people wasn't adhering, people were still out wanting to be with their friends and family, and that is what spread it more, and then they had the deaths. So guys, we have to, even in the midst of whatever going on, we have to operate with common sense. And at times when you see it might be off, we have to stop and ask our Father for clarity and for wisdom. And even while we're waiting for the clarity and the wisdom, we have to ask Him to give us peace, that we would not indulge in all of these things. And last year and even now, people really get hurt. Even the set that might not have died, or a family member wasn't in hospital, or you personally wasn't in hospital, you were hurt. Mentally, you can't sleep. And some people end up investing and buying stuff because there was a group of people realized that providing you say conspiracy and hoax, you could get a lot of people. Even the most rational thinking, educated person, if you sit long enough and you feed your spirit all of these information, you will start doing and asking and making not so smart statement. So guys, along with self-help, self-care of our physical body, we have to look at our mental health. Because guys, if you head off, everything else is off. And that is the part that might be the hardest for you to take care of, because it's the battlefield of the mind. It's a whole way of your thinking. When negativity gets in, it is harder to get out than anything that is good. You look at it. You have to plant roses. You don't have to plant grass and weed. Any yard, anywhere, if it is not really taken care of, the weed will overpower the roses or the beautiful flowers. And the weed at times is our negative thoughts. So we have to have extra guard, extra protection to our mind, and do not indulge in anything that will hamper our spirit, because they will affect our self-care. And it will affect us in a very, very, very negative way. So guys, I hope this week you would take note of what you're looking. Even it's astonishing how the amount of hours people with a phone in the face, and they're walking around on the street, they're in public places, and they have this phone and they just feed in one set of information. And it coming out in the reasoning, in the way with people would speak. So we have to be careful. We have to make a conscious effort. We got to be vigilant in taking care of our mental state. And it's stress, yes, with things that are happening and the things that we will be doing. Even persons who might not be in a stressful situation, so to speak, they have problems on the job, or they don't have problems with a spouse or kids. The finances might be good, but it's still all the things that we're looking at. Oh, watching at this video is just for fun. All of these things is we building it up into our mental state and into our spirit. And we have to be careful with it. Okay, last week I had a very interesting week. Tuesday, I head out to Virginia because a family member is having a health challenge. So I went out to Virginia on my way back on Wednesday. It was like 10:52 in the morning. I remember vividly. On I-77 South, a tractor trailer came and hit my car. The beauty about it was the right side. It wasn't the passenger side. And when I realized it hit, I started pressing my brakes, because all I'm seeing is myself heading into a rail there. And he swiped me and he went off. I was shaking. I was screaming in the car, "He's going to kill me!" All of that. I was able to get his license plate, which the insurance company said initially they can't really trace it. But my Father saved me. My Father protected me. He gave me the sense to brakes. Who knows, if I had tried to speed up, he might have hit me from the back. I don't know. But all what I know, I get the speed limit. You start pressing your brakes, and which I did. So right now I have a battered car. I have an experience, and I must say, guys, is that it was a bit shaky, because then I had to drive the next nearly 5 hours on I-77 South into North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. All the roads have massive trucks. At times you see more trucks than you see in a car. So I was attacked by a truck, and then for the rest of the way I had to drive at the side of the trucks, especially some of them, because of the merging onto the highway. I have to go into the middle lane. So they're on my right, and the right rear view mirror is broken. It was a bit nerve-wracking, but I have to say my Father kept me calm. I didn't get into any more accidents, and I'm home, and the car is going to be repaired and all of that good stuff. So I have extra thanks to my Father this week, is that he took care of me and he kept me safe, that I could be speaking to you this Monday morning. Guys, we have to continue to be on our knees. When we can't do it physically, be mentally. We got to seek our Father guidance and protection every moment of the day, because they have some things I could talk about what he kept me from by getting in from not being hurt, only the car being damaged. They have so many other times that he keep us safe, or he kept us safe, and we are not even aware of it. So those are the times that I'm more grateful for. The ones that I wasn't even aware of. But she said, you know what? Let me keep my daughter in the corner here because I have more plans for her life. And let me let her, I remember where her keys is. So she take longer to go out on the road. Because I gotta keep her away from something. I don't know. But guys, I hope you had a great week last week and you're looking forward to this one. And this new week will be far better than the one you had last week. And continue practicing self-care. Don't only talk about it. So next week, we're going to talk about self-care financially. That is the one we don't want to think about. But yes, it is all part of the program. So have a blessed week. Bye.